Hello everyone and welcome to this very special episode of Experience Exchange. This one has been a long time in the works. I've had to hound the beautiful Jamie from Jamie's Reading Rainbow, located inside Moonchild Crystal Shop in Merced. Thank you so much for finally agreeing to be on the podcast.
Absolutely, it's an honor. I'm so excited.
Yes, I want to start off with the story of how we met. So we actually met kind of through David, because David met Megan, who is the owner of Moonchild Crystal Shop, and she has very bright pink hair and a pet pig.
Yes.
And David came home, he's like, I met this lady, she had pink hair, she had a pet pig, and she was a crystal shop. I was like, oh, cool. And then I went in and I met you, and behind I saw the boards with all of the astrology information, and I was like, who is this diva? And then
I did not have the pig.
no, that was Megan, but Megan wasn't there. But then I met you, and I was like, who is this astrology diva? And you were like, yeah, I do the boards. And I was like, okay, we're gonna be friends.
Oh, I love it. I remember that day. It was awesome.
Yes. So when I met you, at the time, you did not have your business yet. You were just helping with Moonchild, and you finally decided to open up Jamie's Reading Rainbow, which is an aura reading service.
Yeah.
Yes. So aura reading is a form of energy reading, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah. And I love that you do humans and animals, right?
That is the most exciting part for me, but I'm a huge animal lover, so that was one of my pivotal things, is to be able to do that too. I thought was really cool.
Yeah. As soon as you opened, I booked a reading and I enjoyed it. But first, I want folks to know, if they've never heard of auras before, what is an aura?
So I feel like that alone could be like a whole podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, how am I going to summarize, such a complex and beautiful subject, into a more palatable phrase or explanation? And what I was able to come up with is that it's a way we all give off electromagnetic energy, and it's a way to take that energy into a color visualization system. Mm-hmm. So we're able to actually see it with our eyes, and that is how you're able to get the aura readings.
Okay. And do the colors match with the chakra system?
So the colors do coordinate within the chakra system. That is also a complex, intricate subject matter, and debatable as well, especially right now. But this specific machine is based off of the chakra system, yes.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome. I wanted to ask, people sort of expect this rainbow Instagram worthy picture, and that's if all of your chakras are optimal and aligned, correct?
That is correct. That is the ultimate unicorn goal to get to. Yeah. For most people, that is our goal.
Yeah.
So I think that should always be our goal, right? Because in order to evolve and to be a good person, you're always wanting to evolve into your highest self. So the level to obtain that goal is really a lot of work, mm-hmm. but it isn't impossible. So I always encourage people, have it as your vision, if that's your vision, and you never know, one day you might just get there.
What are the most common chakra colors that you see on people?
The most common one that I see that is on average is green and yellow. Okay. So green is indicative that you're moving towards a life of growth and healing. Mm-hmm. That would make sense that somebody's going to come and have their aura read if they're interested in inner healing and seeing what their energy is reflecting as. And yellow represents optimism. And that also makes sense and analytical. So you're trying to find out, what is my body saying? Is this serving me? Is it not? Is this reading going to give me more self-empowerment? So those are, for me, I can see why those are the most common aura colors to have.
Okay, nice. Yeah, one thing that I love about your approach that is so different is that in order to pick up like the aura reading, folks have to put their hand on like a, how would you describe it? Like a trackpad?
It's like a sensor.
Yeah, like a sensor. And also the dogs can put their paws on there too.
Yes.
But what I love about you is that you leave it on for 15 minutes, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I was like, did I get the time correct? Minimum. Yeah. Because a lot of like these pop-up vendor fairs that I've seen, they just kind of like do 2 seconds and then that's it. But it's like you could be very excitable in the beginning, like it might not be your base energy. So I love that because yeah, you might come in nervous. I know I was like, what is this about?
Absolutely. It's nerve-wracking for sure.
And then I was able to really like settle into the energy, and I was like, okay, this room, which I forgot to shout out, obviously we're not in the studio. We are in Jamie's aura reading room. So yeah, this is the beautiful different background that we're in right now. So yeah, it smells good, it feels good, it's so relaxing. And then after 15 minutes I was like, oh, you definitely read my energy for sure.
Thank you. So I feel because and the vantage point of this, the hand sensor specifically, is that it's made to be able to have that dialogue so you can see your body's response to it. And that is why it's innovative, and that is why it's named an innovative solution, because it's really reading your energy in real time, and that you can't get that anywhere else. And I just feel like I kind of look at it like AutoZone. Like you can come plug in and you can see where your battery's at, and then I can give you some suggestions, but the diagnostic is still, you know, in your hands after that. And it gives you kind of like where you can see like I was actually speaking to your lovely husband prior to the podcast, and we were talking about it, and we were talking about how sometimes you come in and you see that heart chakra as a 1, and we're sitting here and you're talking about your companion, and your energy is dipping and your heart is racing, and you're looking at that and you're like, maybe this person isn't good for me, you know. And that's a moment that you can have, reading your energy in real time, measuring it, and then you can see, okay, I might have to make some adjustments here. And that is the advantage that I am honored to bring to the community, is that we can have that read in real time. Like, okay, where am I at? Maybe, or it could be a job, or it could be certain friendships or certain environments that we've outgrown. But that machine has the capability to read that in real time, and it's an honor and it's fascinating, you know, that we're able to have that ability.
Yeah, I love that you take an empowerment approach, much like myself, because it's like, we're not a savior. We're not here to fix people. We're here to sort of guide them as they are. And then if they want to take the advice or leave it, that's really on them. But your journey, you know, as an intuitive, as a spiritual person, definitely didn't start yesterday. I know that you have like a wonderful maternal lineage of like people that are spiritual. I know you talk a lot about your aunt who's a medium, correct?
Yes, and just family. I'm very blessed, and I didn't realize growing up that you know, other families were not open-minded, and my grandparents were very open-minded, and my grandmother, you know, carried Christianity in her heart, and my grandfather was Buddhist, and my aunt, you know, did mediumship and readings and dream interpretations, and my mom went to, you know, Christianity-based ideals, and then my other aunt was more like very open. She's a Libra sun. Oh. So everything's open for everything and beautiful, and just like, honestly, we wouldn't be where we are at. Any of us would not be where we are at without my Aunt Jan. So shout out Aunt Jan, we appreciate your wisdom. So we were really lucky to, you know, have this open environment, and my youngest sisters and cousins, we all, you know, do readings and do dreams, and it's really cool to have that spiritual connection. We're all connected with each other, and we're very blessed. Even if we're having differences, there's still that undertone of spiritual connection. So I'm very blessed to have had that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so wonderful, because I know a lot of times, like, if children have, like, premonitions or, like, sort of psychic abilities, a lot of families shut that down. Either they're imagining it or it's from the devil. And then that muscle, if you will, like atrophies, and they have to gain it back on their own when they're an adult. So I'm so happy that you're able to stay connected with your spirituality from like such a young age with your family support. Were they also into astrology?
Yes, my whole family's into astrology. We have this book that has been around in my family, Linda Goodman. So she's an astrologist, and she has several books on numerology and sun signs and moon signs. My family is into numerology as well.
Wow.
And, you know, we've all charted all of each other and all the things. And, you know, we all joke about each other and make fun of each other for it. So, you know, as families do. As families do. But when you were saying that, it reminded me, like, I didn't realize what you said. And so I appreciate that reminder. And even my mom in her Christian faith, when I was having dreams and visions at a very young age, she, you know, took me to get guidance. She didn't treat me as if I was bringing negative energy into the home. Like, she still honored that. So, and I know that that's not very common. So I do want to, you know, acknowledge that I might have had a different experience in that, right? Which made me feel more comfortable, you know, to believe what I believe in my spirituality that other people may not have had.
Mm-hmm. But now you're making like that beautiful safe space for the community, you know, like you're always such a friendly face, always so inviting. People are just kicking it and also shopping at the same time. But yeah, you do both. You provide like this wisdom and this safe space. And for the people that are dying to know, what is your big three?
Okay, so my big three is Aries Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Pisces rising. Thank God for the Pisces rising, because where would I'm just like, the universe blessed me with that, for sure, to balance me out. So I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, your energy is definitely like loving, accepting, but you can handle business.
Absolutely. Please do not make me flip. Please do not make me flip. And I do want to say, like, I have to acknowledge years of work, and for people who are watching this, you know, I have to acknowledge I have not always walked in my highest self. I have, you know, walked in low vibrational energy. I've carried low vibrational energy. I've been in low vibrational environments. And it's a lot of self-reflection, a lot of accountability, a lot of continuous work that I will always strive to do, because I believe that's the way we maintain our authenticity. This is my opinion. So I just want to acknowledge that, because it hasn't always been, you know, all casual. Mm-hmm. And I am thankful for that shadow side of myself, because I can flip if I need to, but I much prefer to not have to do that. Where before I was waiting to do that. Mm-hmm. Now I don't want to have to do that. I'm just like, please, under any circumstances, you know, let me try to avoid that if I can.
Yeah, I mean, I share the same opinion, where I feel like the best guides have been through hell and back. Mm-hmm. That's when, like, you won't judge your clients. You can also say you've been in their shoes or walked very similar paths. Mm-hmm. So you definitely bring that, like, expertise, that lived experience. So if anyone is ever, like, shy, definitely inquire about your healer or your guide's, like, history, and you can see, like, oh, I relate to this person, like they have shared a lot of journeys like me, and I don't have to be afraid. So yeah, I definitely feel confident telling you anything. Yeah.
Well, you know, I find that when we transmute the pain that we have endured and we turn it into something positive, I find it really agitates the people that you know, have harmed us, actually way more than anything that our anger could have done. Because then when we react in anger, they excuse it. Then they're like, oh, there you are. And then they're never having to look at themselves. But then when you don't respond, it's way more like that energy just goes back, and it's way more sweeter. It's just having the intelligence to get there and overcoming the traumas or what adversities that you have, you know, to get there. And in the final end is when you're really going to have the most, I feel, closure, because you're not really worried about the reaction anymore, because you're just moving on a different level.
Yeah, happiness is the best revenge.
Absolutely.
For sure. And you're living your best life.
I sure the fuck am.
astrology baddie, crystal baddie, obviously like aura knowledgeable. You have so many gifts. Numerology, like I could go on and on. But what made you choose of all the things aura reading? Because you could have easily been an astrologer. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that are knowledgeable in astrology, but like don't necessarily take astrology clients, and you're definitely one of those people where like you know it. You just don't want to do readings, and that's fine. What made you land on aura readings? Like, this is my path. This is what I need to do.
That's such a great question. So astrology for me is like, it is a passion, but it's just like, I don't want to have the discipline within a passion that I love so much in I don't want to have that with astrology.
Sort of like you don't want to turn your hobby into like your job type of thing.
Yes, because I want to keep it more like something fun and not as, you know, if for somebody to be like, hey, what do you think? I can get back to them like 7 weeks later. Like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Yes, here's my opinion on this one transit. You know, honestly, going to aura readings, it started with my own self-journey. Mm-hmm. And I went to Megan and I said, Megan, who does aura readings around here? Because I want to see what my energy is at, because I was getting there on my own journey. And unfortunately, there was a gentleman, he was an older gentleman, he was very popular in the area. I guess he had to stop coming for about a year or two. Oh. And I was like, oh, that's so upset. And then I looked where to find them, and I did some research, and I want to keep it positive, so I'm going to leave it there. But I didn't really see any authentic, you know, positive experiences within our drive range. So my original idea, you guys, was to have Megan do it. And so I went to Megan and I said, Megan, I have done all this amazing research, so go buy a machine. And she said, no, I am doing this other thing, which turned out to end up being buying the Turlock store. Yeah. And so she had her vision, and I was trying to project my vision onto her because I was afraid. So she wasn't having it because she's a Sagittarius sun, and she was like, girl, please. So what a good friend she was, you know, to put that back onto me. And then she was like, basically to my face, like, you know, you need to be doing this. Like, hell called me out, and I was just like, dang. So I went home and I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is just like way too much. And I had a dream that night, and in my personal integrity is that if you have a dream and you wake up, it's a vision. It's not a dream. So I had this dream, and I was doing it, and I was here, and I was in the future. And I instantly woke up, and I woke up hyperventilating, and I just spoke out loud, like, I'm not doing it. You can send all the dreams you want. It's not happening. And so I was instant rebellion, like, oh, I'm not taking this on. Like, no.
How Aries of you. I'm not taking direction. You can't tell me what to do.
So then the next day, a customer at the crystal shop came in, and she was like, you had a dream, and you know what you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, I do not receive that. Dismissed her too. So she came in a week later, and she was like, you dismissed me twice. Don't do it a third time. Wow. And I still was rebellious. And I said, fine. No one's going to give me the money. Whatever, I'm going to go do it. And then I went, and then they gave it to me, and then I was like, okay. And then I sat on it for a month, because I literally refused, even though all the doors opened for me. And then my wonderful, beautiful friend, Miss Megan, she was like, no, we're going to do this. And she forced me to do it, and now I am here, and I would not be here without her support or without her accountability. So thank you, Megan, for all of that. And that's how I'm here. I fought it the whole way, but the vision was placed on my heart, and I tried not to listen in true Aries fashion, and I was fine and stagnant, enjoying my time. I was like, no, I'm good. But, you know, God had another plan for me, and now I'm here.
Could you remind me, when did you open again? You opened sometime this year, like earlier this year.
Yeah, April 1st was my actual opening day. That's when I got my license, and then I went live here in the shop the second week of May. And actually, I'm so glad you brought that up because I want to inspire people. That was a failure. Because it was. So Megan left out of town and we're like, we had this grand plan that we were going to set it up on the counter and we did all this stuff. And then what I didn't realize with the sensor, that the energy was being affected when people were walking in. And so I was like, so I was just like so discouraged. And so when she came back, she's like, what happened? And I'm like, I just failed. It's not going to work. And she's all, nope, we're going to make a room. And so then I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. So then, yes, then we made the room and my husband and I, we repaired it. And I was letting your wonderful husband know that I really worked hard to clear the energy. We kept crystals in here and I saged in and Palo Santo'd and just walked this room every morning and every night just to bring good intentions and good energy for when people come in, that they could have the best optimal experience where only their energy was coming through and there was no interference and they can just really receive that so they can take a next step for their healing.
Wow, I love that. It takes a lot of work to clean an area and then cleanse it, and you so intentionally cleansed it. Yeah. When you walk into this room, and I hope the energy transmits like through the camera, it is so nice and calm. And that totally makes sense if our aura is electromagnetic. If people are walking in the background, that you're accidentally gonna pick theirs up too.
Yes, absolutely. I was not expecting it to be that accessible, but it was, and I didn't like it because it was compromising the reading, and then that compromised my integrity. So I wanted to shift at that point.
Yeah, your Capricorn moon definitely keeps you very like accountable to like quality, structure, foundation. But I mean, I love that. I love people with integrity. Yeah, absolutely. Because then the quality is going to be better and you know that this person really cares about their craft and not just like profiting. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like your readings are pretty affordable. Could you remind the folks how much they are again?
So the average reading is $150 to $350, and I just am I do not think that accurately represents what we should be charging. I think it's upcharged for maybe, which I appreciate social media, so I don't want to speak negative about it, but sometimes when things are buzz, the value and the authenticity of that can be taken advantage of in any business practice. And I think that that's just taking advantage of it. And if you look at it from a business standpoint, which I do not have my degree in business nonetheless, but I did take some college classes and I do have some education on the fact that how much are you charging from your product price, you know, and is that necessary? And then how much would you be, you know, willing to pay, you know, as a consumer to go get a reading, and what would you be willing to expect for that amount of price? And so that's how I came up with my price, and I think it's affordable for our area. And honestly, my mission is to honor myself with, you know, at my time, because not to, you know, just not have boundaries and give away, but also to honor the community, because this is a healing tool. And I feel like I want to present it as a healing tool, not as a TikTok post. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Sorry, I think I heard like the range of like other people's readings, but what is your reading?
Oh, my reading is $50.
$50. Yeah. That is so wonderful. And not only an ethical businesswoman, but as a smart businesswoman, we live in the Central Valley, like compared to the Bay, LA, like folks don't always have the means.
Absolutely.
So I love that you make the healing, or even if someone doesn't want to take it that deep and they just want to experience it, you make the experience accessible.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you open to skeptics? Like, I know that my husband obviously is a skeptic. Like, if someone was like, I don't know what this is about, but I think it's fun, let me go do it. Like, would you receive them?
Absolutely. And I've definitely done those readings. And I have a lover special, $77, which is soulmate energy.
Wow.
And that is for 2 readings. And that is for those partnerships that maybe they might be a little skeptical. They don't want to spend too much, but then that gives them a chance to kind of see it for their own self. And what I have found is that most people, still have a good time because they have an open mind. I haven't had anybody, say that this was a negative experience. They might say, well, I don't know about everything, but you can kind of see that they're kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
And if I can just make somebody have a good time and open up their eyes or plant a seed of, self-reflection, then I feel like I'm bringing what I'm supposed to be bringing to the community.
I definitely want to ask you who could benefit from an aura reading, but we're going to take a little ad break first, but stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by us, Kythera Collective. If you've been vibing with the energy of the show, then you're going to love the Kythera Club over on Patreon. It's a space that I built for the cosmic, the curious, and the slightly chaotic. You know who you are. With 3 delicious tiers to choose from, we start with the chocolate level at $4 a month, which gains you access to weekly horoscopes and the exclusive Unhinged podcast, where I say things that don't make it to this main feed. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's just for you. Next, we have the cafe level at $7 a month. This is where things really start to get cooking. You'll receive access to exclusive workshops, monthly virtual hangouts, and a private Discord community where you can chat directly with me and receive exclusive behind-the-scenes updates. It's magical, cozy, and a little unhinged in the best way. Finally, we have the tequila level. This is the VIP lounge. At $25 a month, you'll receive everything from the previous tiers, plus a personal 15-minute one-on-one session with myself or David each month, and discounts if you want to extend the session. It's a whole vibe and a powerful way to receive personalized guidance. So if you've been laughing along with us, crying, or rage screaming in agreement, come hang out with us at the Kythera Club. Head over to patreon.com/JenCalo and choose your tier. If you want to sponsor an episode and advertise with us, go to our website, www.jencalo.com. All right, now back to the show. All right, everyone, welcome back. So actually, before we get into who could use an aura reading, I was curious about something during the ad break. How was it when you said you had to get your license? You mean your business license through the city of Merced?
Yes.
How does the city of Merced treat healers? Like, what was your experience getting your business license?
So because I'm printing out photography, it's photography because I'm doing aura photos.
That's so real. I love that.
And then I will say that the bank actually was asking me about it, and they were asking the most questions. And the girl the girl that was helping me, they were very excited. They were super supportive. They also knew that there wasn't anybody in this area that was doing that. So I felt like when she told me that was a sign.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing she said. She's like, nobody has that. Nobody's doing that. And I was like, yeah, that's why I have to bring it, because we need this here. We have such a beautiful spiritual community in this town, and we have access to a lot of modalities. And I feel like this is kind of like a key that you could take to any of those modalities and utilize them to their highest regard, whether it's sound healing, somatic healing, art, whatever you're, reaching out, Reiki. You can take your analysis to that and just unlock your healing to another level. And I just think that's a beautiful thing.
I love that people are becoming more open-minded. I mean, even like the bank folks were like,
they were excited. I mean, they were younger.
Yeah.
So they were, they saw it on TikTok. So it helped.
Yeah. So since folks are more open-minded, like, who could benefit from an aura reading? Or I guess, what does a typical aura reading session look like?
So, I feel like I bring a lot of my personality and my energy into a reading. So what I can say is that a typical aura reading, if you were just to generally speak about it, would just be anybody who wants to tap in and see any of their chakra levels, if they're blocked, if they're high, if they're low, if they want to see, their energy shift when they're talking about a certain person, place, or thing in real time, so that way they can affirm things that they already know. Anybody who's looking, to elevate their healing or take a specific modality that they're currently working on and amping it. So maybe people who have been going to Reiki a long time, but they want to really dial in on it now. Now it's not just, I'm going to go to Reiki once a month. It's, all right, let's get to the heart of what's really going on here. So that type of, next level energy. Or if you're just curious and you're just beginning, that's a great way to tap in and see, like, okay, what's the chakra system about? Can you just kind of give me a little bit about it? And that's a good candidate for that. It really benefited. And if you're really into crystals, that reading is going to show you what crystal healing is going to benefit you the most. And even if you don't want to, go on any other journey other than the crystal healing, you can still come and get an aura reading, and it'll show you what you're spending your money on and how it could benefit you the most and your health.
Nice, nice. So just to give a quick rundown of the colors, I'm going to use this beautiful chart right here for the folks that don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar, and then sacral and root. Yeah. So I should have said the colors, but if you're watching it on video, you'll see what I pointed to. But yes, the colors that radiate from the aura photography correspond with the chakra system, correct?
Absolutely.
And I see that, you did mention like crystal healing, or how depending on what like blockages people may have, you may prescribe, for lack of a better word, certain crystals. Do you have any like favorites that you like to show, or like any of these that we have right here? Like, what are some of your favorite crystals to work with? So
for my personal favorites that could be a different podcast. But for my aura reading specifically, selenite. Selenite is, the all-cleansing.
Which is this white tower, correct?
Yes. It's the angelic crystal, so that brings in, the spiritual energy, purifying energy. Clear quartz amplifies that. It also cleanses. Kyanite is good for that intuition, that third eye. So tapping in, to our spiritual realm, higher consciousness. Amethyst is good for peace and clarity, and also helps us calm down. And rose quartz, it's good for self-love, and it is known as the love crystal, and everybody, is like, I need rose quartz to make somebody fall in love. But really the ultimate goal of rose quartz is self-love. And that's when we see our highest chakra heart levels, is when we are living our life in self-love. Not necessarily like in a happy relationship, because if you're in a happy relationship, sometimes your heart chakra will still show low if you're lacking in that self-love.
I love that, and I know that you and Megan really pride yourself in the quality of the crystals, the quality of your jewelry. Like, for example, you have a moonstone on you, correct?
I do. I will never take this moonstone off.
I know one of the biggest things when you're letting people know about the quality, you're like, I swim every day.
I do. I leave the shop and hop in my pool. So that's one of the things that I do, is when in the morning before I come in, even when I do aura readings and when I go home, I'm outside. And it's really important to me to ground my energy. So, and I understand not wanting to have to take off jewelry or just go through a routine. Sometimes you just want to not have to worry about it. Or if you're like, oh my gosh, I jumped in and now my $150 necklace is ruined. So that's what my favorite part about New Gen jewelry is that it's active lifestyle jewelry. And I understand that there are semi-precious stones. I don't want them to get mad at me, because there is a couple stones that cannot get wet. And I am aware of that, but for the most part, this is a way that you can make your energy like wearable under any circumstances, and that's so important to me.
Yeah, and I know that Moonchild Crystal Shop in Merced won Best Jeweler Award of
2020.
Was it 2024 or 2025?
Gosh.
Or was it both?
No, I think it was 2025.
Nice.
Yeah, from a certain time frame. I think is what they go by.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were honored to have that, and we're honored to have Nugent at our store, and we Megan and I both wear their jewelry and their pieces, and it's an honor. We hand select every single piece, so we're picking those pieces with intention. And like this past time we picked out, I got some sugilite, and Megan looked at me and she was like, sugilite, because it's kind of a rare stone, and the collective needed it, and we were rejoicing in that, and so it's really an honor that we feel to be able to handpick and see, okay, what is the collective going to need the most, or what can they benefit from wearing and healing the most. So, plus it's beautiful.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I've seen very affordable pieces to you have these huge towers that could basically be accent pieces, and someone's home that are thousands of dollars.
Yes, we try to bring magic into everybody's home, into the community, and sometimes we are not in a place that we can purchase those large pieces, so we try to have various sizes of almost every crystal, which is impossible depending on which country and the origin and the availability, but we really try. And that way, if we can meet your need, here when you're at a grind level in your life, and we can meet your need when you're at the celebration I made it level of life, and it's an honor to be able to bring healing to all levels of life in the community.
Yeah, you curate so many magical experiences, from the astrology board in the shop, your knowledge of crystals, obviously your aura reading sessions, but how do you take care of yourself at the end of the day? Because you provide so much energy to others, you're hearing people's joys, people's losses. How do you reset at the end of the day?
That is just really such a good question. Like I mentioned earlier, I've made it a priority to, wake up and spend time outside. And, with my animals. I have 2 Doberman pinchers. I'm a new mommy. He bit my lip, but he didn't mean to. He's only 4 months old. So I have 2 Dobermans, and they're just joys in our home, and dogs move energy, and they bring beautiful energy. And so I spend time with them in the morning, and I drink my coffee intentionally. I program my coffee. I'm one of those. I'm definitely one of those. But I go out and I meditate and I manifest, and I try to balance my energy before I come in and prepare myself for whatever the day is going to bring. I do study the charts, and I pay attention to the transits, because that can kind of help me know what to expect. And of course, it doesn't govern everything, but it can kind of give you a guide. And then when I go home, I'm blessed to have a supportive environment at my house, and my significant other is super supportive, and we're able to balance that. And when I come home, I have that ability to have that time to ground and to be outside and disconnect and kind of just be like, okay, I need to reset these emotions and get ready for the next day. So, and I enjoy cooking. I do a lot of cooking and just, relaxing at the night. I'm not a big TV person or taking in any more energy when I get home, because I feel like my life is a movie during the day. I don't need to watch anything but football or sports. That's what I love to do to relax, because the stuff that happens here is fucking crazy sometimes, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm good for the day.
And since you mentioned that you are a dog mommy, when you read pets, are their energies naturally more balanced than humans, or are they just as skewed?
Okay, so my pet experience is very minimal at this point, and I'm currently reworking that, which I'm not ready to announce on the podcast yet, but I do have something coming for the pets that has been placed on my heart. So at this time, I've only done my animals, which I'm going to brag, but all my animals are angels. They're from a non-earthly dimension. So, it's Nakia. I don't know if those of you who have gotten an opportunity to meet her, but she is such an angelic dog. And we did her reading before we even did ours.
Oh,
we're like, we have to see what, we knew it was going to be that. But so I feel like it's kind of like a biased question because it's a dog that's a literally walking angel. So yeah, all of her chakras were balanced. It was beautiful. She was just radiating like beautiful purple light. And we're like, of course, you know, and then ours were not purple. So at the time, we're just like, okay, our dog is like in a higher level of consciousness than us. So yeah, it was really cool to be a part of that. So dog chakra is different because they're not as complex as humans. They're in survival brain. They're not in their emotional complex brain. So their chakra system is a little bit less complex and a little bit more structured.
Can you do any animal or only mammals? Like if someone brought their turtle, they were like...
So dogs and cats, the system that I have by Innovative Solutions comes with 2 pet plates, and it's not the sensor that humans experience. They kind of look just like medical plates, like you would see in a vet office with rubber around them. And they're kind of cold, hard, stainless steel, and you have to like hold their paws onto that, and there's 2 plates, and then you put both of their paws on the plates, and that's how it's able to read their energy off of that.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Yeah, it's really cute. It's super cute. So I'm looking forward to being able to expand on that. And then maybe when we do, we can come back and we can do a whole thing just on animals.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. This episode will air a few days before Halloween. So do you have any Halloween plans, or does Jamie's Reading Rainbow have any events coming up November, December?
Well, I am honored actually, and I want to use this opportunity to shout out really more the Healing Center, because it's a youth-led center in our community, leadership for reform and for change, and really close to mine and Megan's heart. So it's really honored to be able to go and serve that community and that celebration. They're celebrating their 1-year anniversary, and that's going to be October 18th. You can find them on Instagram at the Healing Center, and then also on my Instagram, I'm promoting them as well. And I appreciate you shared the event as well, so thank you for that. But anything to bring attention. They're going to have free haircuts. They're going to have tacos. They're going to have vintage clothing out there for donation, and really just celebrating with I think ASIP's going to be out there too. But yeah. And so I think it's great for the community to come together and support this youth-led program. I mean, what an honor for these youth to be advocating for change. So they need our support.
Yeah. Part of the Hollywood magic is that we record ahead of time. So by the time the podcast is out, you will have done that event. And it will have been wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
But I love that you are also working with the community and putting yourself out there and letting people know that you are here.
Nonetheless, it's still an important center, so I don't mind, and I really want you to still, even though it's going to pass, it's still really important. And the fact that they're getting the attention is so important to me, because we believe in what they're doing, and they're really taking their action and putting it to the streets, and that's just so admirable as a young, so brave.
Yeah. And how can people get a hold of you, follow you, keep up with you if they want to see any of your future events, book an appointment, just come say hi?
Well, you can always find me at Moonchild. I'm here. I'm here. I feel almost every day. We're open 7 days a week, 10 to 6. So you can always just walk in here. Any of the wonderful people that we have here, Brianna, Liz, Megan, they know how to get a hold of me, so they can guide you. If that's just the simplest way and that's what you feel more comfortable to walk in, then that's always, an option. I'm also on Instagram. You can also find me on the Moonchild Crystal Shop page. And then on my personal Instagram, it has my email, my business phone number. You can DM me. Or you can, like I said, you can just walk in and we can schedule an appointment. So right now for October, I don't have any events that I'm doing at this time that have been confirmed. But I do appreciate you asking, and we'll see, what comes next.
If someone wanted to gift someone an aura reading session, how could they do that?
Okay, so this is one of those things that are called like little affirmations in your head, like how I was talking at the beginning of the podcast, because I did have a special request to have gift cards made. So that is definitely something that I'm working on doing. Until I get that set up, a tangible option is you could pay in advance, and I would credit that person for them to come in. Like, I can make a cute little thing if you want to come into the shop. I can make like a pamphlet with my business card. Until then, or you can just have them come in or have them contact me for the appointment.
An aura reading would be such a cute, unique winter gift, whether you celebrate like Christmas or something else, but like, so personal story, when I go to White Elephants, like, the gifts sometimes are like so disappointing. I know that we've been to some and like everyone got Tupperware and it's like, oh my god.
Okay, you got that on clearance at Costco. Come on, be original.
Yeah, so if you want to be original, if you want to stand out, if you want to give someone a unique gift that is all about them with the holidays coming around the corner, that is definitely a tangible option as a gift. So I'm so excited. I'm excited to let people know that you're here. I'm excited for your business to grow. You haven't even been in business for 1 year and you already have made such a beautiful space and such an impact on the community. And I will include like Moonchild's address, all of your socials, all of your
Megan has her shit together, so she has business, she has gift cards. So Megan Moonchild, she has her shit together. So good for you, Megan.
Yes, I'll have all of that in the show notes, and then of course, like if someone wants an aura reading and then a little something to go, you can also help people pick the perfect crystal for their loved ones. Yeah.
Yes, that is my absolute favorite. I'd love to be honored and to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and your experience, and I'm just so excited to see what the future holds for you.
Oh, thanks, Jen. I appreciate it. I'm excited too.
Yeah, well, thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Experience Exchange. We will see you later. Bye.